and competitions. Do you have any fun stories about seeing JDF before you made it into VR Troopers?
No, I actually never saw him in competition, but
Or in the same circles,
on
right?
set we would like get together and just like, I don't know, like show off each other's kicks, like, oh, can you do this, or can you do this kick? And Jason was slightly more advanced than me at the time. Like he showed me a couple of kicks that I'd never tried before, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna try that one. And so I actually didn't start doing that kind of like cinematic style of martial arts. I was doing more traditional stuff up until VR Troopers. It wasn't until I met JDF and then Mitch, the stunt guy from the show. We all started training at LA Valley College. Yes. So we started incorporating gymnastics and stunts, and that's when I started really pushing my martial arts after the show. So I was actually disappointed at looking at my martial arts in the show. I'm like, oh, I got so much better than that. I look terrible on this show.
No, you look fantastic.
Compliment, but I was embarrassed about how low my skills were.
Oh, Michael was great, right, on the show, right? Let's hear it.
I've been watching the show on Hulu, and Mike, you're outrageous. Both of you guys together sparring. I'm just standing there going, I'm a dancer, clearly not a martial artist. But Mitch was my boyfriend, so he not only trained me, but beat my butt several times accidentally. I forget to duck and get the backhand in the face. He was really very talented with the martial arts.
Mitch was very talented, I remember that. I have an extensive martial arts background, black belt 1 on Do and brown belt Valley 2 Do. And we were coming on the show, and I knew martial arts better than acting. And when I saw this guy on screen, who is this guy? Mike Bacon? Who is he? He put everybody to shame. His technique, his forms, his kicks, beautiful, just amazing. And then I had heard that Brad had very little experience, and the man looked twice as good as me on film. I can just tell you that. His martial arts is much better.
Since we're all praising Michael Bacon, I just want to say I have no experience in martial arts. My daughter has more experience than I do. But I do remember I went to Michael to have him teach me some moves that I did very poorly. But yeah, you were training me in between scenes. And I want to thank you for taking the time to put up with me.
I love that.
A couple of things here. I don't remember that, Aaron, but I remember.
That's fair.
I remember I enjoyed hanging out with you on the show. I think you were really cool. There were times where I'm like, God, that must not be the funnest thing to play someone who gets like picked on all the time. And I don't know. I related to you a lot because I got picked on a lot as a kid, so that's why I got into martial arts. But
thank you.
Just to clarify some confusion here, I was Michael Bacon on the show, but I changed my name right after the show. My last name is now Hollander. It's my legal name and it's my family name. So it was my grandmother's idea. Her last name is Hollander, and she said, "You should change your name to Hollander." And I was like, yeah. Part of the reason why I got picked on a lot as a kid because I was a fat kid with the name Bacon. And so you can imagine, and I was one of the only black kids in school too, so I just got, picked on. Bacon.
Look, Michael, I understand.
Anyway,
When I got the show, I was dealing with stuff like that too. What was crazy was we shot an episode. I think the first episode I shot on location. We were at a miniature golf place, and I had a windmill spanking me while I was stuck in that. And guess what? That was down the street from the high school I graduated from. So one of my high school bullies was actually at the miniature golf place, watching me getting my butt spanked by a windmill. So there was a constant inner conflict like that I was going through because I was trying to be as funny as possible. But it was like I had no time to reconcile the stuff that I went through in high school and just sort of channeled that into Percy. It was not easy, but it was fun.
I just can't believe anybody picking on or bullying you after seeing your moves on VR
introverts. Yeah.
I'm terrified.
I didn't take martial arts until I was 19.
Wow.
So I was, so in high school where I grew up, like nobody did martial arts because it was considered like, oh, you gotta learn how to fight because you don't know how to fight. So you gotta learn how to kick. Bacon, porky fat bacon, like I got it all. So
Wait, 6 years you learned how to be that good? Because most people would take martial arts for 20 years.
That's right. You learned that's a quick.
Is everybody doing the math?
Well,
I was doing it full time. So what happened was my instructor, long story, but we had several schools. One of the instructors got arrested, put in jail, and they gave me the school.
oh wow.
So I had my own karate school for like 5 years. And so I was night and day just training. So
Well,
that's why I learned so much.
I think it's such an inspirational journey that you went from being a bully now to being an inspiration for so many.
I wasn't a bully.
Sorry, I meant that's what I said. Not being a bully, being bullied. Sorry, being bullied to being an inspiration. That's what I meant to say. It was pretty impressive. Yes, let's clarify. He is not a bully. Next question for you guys. Next quiz question is: Jason David Frank's character's name in Cybertron was A. Adam Steele, B. Ryan Steele, or C. J.B. Steele? A. Adam Steele, B. Ryan Steele, or C. J.B. Steele? That would be for JDF's original character in Cybertron. Let's see. Adam. Here we can reveal. Adam. Oh, well, Michael got it wrong.
I got it wrong.
He got it wrong. Now, the reason I asked that is because, correct me if I'm wrong, Brad, but the original White Ranger, when it was pitched to you, well, his name was Adam, actually. Do you remember how that character was pitched to you? How he was going to debut at all? Besides being Mr. Adam? The White Ranger, as the White Ranger. Do you know how the character was pitched to you? How you were supposed to debut as the White Ranger? Did it get that far in the process?
I don't know. I mean, our interaction and like basically me being the White Ranger and him being on Cybertron VR Troopers, that thing just did this.
Sure.
It just, came so close to being real, and then all of a sudden I was just on VR Troopers and he was the White Ranger. It just,
But you were also on Power Rangers Zeo as the original Gold Ranger.
Yeah.
I think the definitive Gold Ranger, if that's just me speaking. Was there ever an opportunity, or did the opportunity present itself that you were ever going to be the Gold Ranger physically outside of this?
No, it was an accident. We were talking about the production studios is downstairs and upstairs is all ADR. ADR was so much more fun. I'll be honest with you. When you go upstairs, like Scott and all those guys up there doing these voices, and Michael, and it was just a party upstairs.
Weren't they
Everybody had a
drinking
good time.
too?
It was a good time. That's how they got through the day. So we go upstairs, but and I just remember one day they had pulled me aside and they said, "Hey, we got an idea. Are you interested? We've already started this new character on Power Rangers Zeo, and we don't have the actor picked out yet. We don't have that person picked out for the role, but we got to go live. Like we're about to air this episode. It's already edited, and we don't have the actor, and we need a voice." They were like, "Would you mind just subbing in?" And I was already upstairs, and I was pretty cheap labor back then, so they were just like, "Hey, here's a free voice. Let's use this." And it was funny. I think upstairs they go, "Nobody's gonna know it's Brad Hawkins," and everybody knew it was Brad Hawkins. They were like, "Ooh, now he's gonna be the Gold Ranger." Oh my God. God, Hawkins, the Troopers is going to be the new Gold Rangers, all this stuff, and I was just like, I just went in there and did a free voice for like whatever 6 or 7 episodes, and that was my segue into the Power Rangers franchise was just through the voice of the Gold Ranger. So it's funny, I was the alpha.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitive Gold Ranger personally, but that's just me. All right, I think this one's a little bit harder. Maybe you guys won't think it is, but Percy was a Vulcan Skull type of character, all rolled into one. By the way, you were great in physical comedy, my friend.
Hold on. I want to say something about
Sure.
that before you ask.
Yeah.
There is a man here named Al Winchell who was a director on our show, and I have to credit him for teaching me some references for physical comedy. He's the person who told me about Dick Van Dyke, Jerry Lewis, like certain references to study to really be able to get the physical comedy across, to be able to do the balance between just flat out hurting myself and actually trying to deliver the comedy and the timing. So thank you.
Thank you. That, yeah, you did such a wonderful job. Yes, absolutely. The director's here in the front row. We got a full VR Trooper 2 directors out here. So the question I have for you guys is, originally, Percy wasn't who he ended up being in VR Troopers. There were two characters named Elmo and Scuzzy when JDF was doing the show. Which famous Scream actor played Elmo in Cybertron? Is that A, Matthew Lillard, B, Jamie Kennedy, or C, Skeet Ulrich? Let's see. It's guess. It's okay. A. We have an A. We have an I don't know. We have an A. We have Jamie. Jamie Kennedy is the correct answer. Jamie Kennedy is the correct answer. Yes. So Jamie Kennedy was in Scream. If you know Scream, he played Randy. Randy was the one that knew all about the films. He had the Jamie Kennedy experience. Malibu's Most Wanted. He ended up having a pretty decent career, but yes, he was originally in Cybertron with Jason David Frank as one of them. See?
They couldn't afford him in the end?
They could not afford him in the end. That which makes sense. That tracks with Saban, right?
He segued pretty well.
You did segue. But the question I had for you, Aaron, you talked a little bit about the physical comedy. Talk to me about getting into the role of Percy, and also you got a fun photo at your table that you said that you're in this kind of superhero outfit, but it never aired. Do you have a story about that photo that's at your table?
Yes. What was the first part of your question?
Developing the character.
Building. There was no development to the character. When I came in, I auditioned for a role named Bradley Rooney, and they changed the name of the character. I actually remember, Alan, you told me you fought for me to be cast, so also thank you. I had no experience on camera. I was just trying to come in and be as crazy as they wanted me to be. It was only, I think, the first time I was given any real meat to chew on was the Defending Darkheart 4-episode thing, because they actually included me in not just the beginning and the end as like the funny bookends, but I got to be stuck in a dungeon.
And get kissed.
And I had my first kiss ever.
His first kiss
By
ever.
Sarah Brown. And that is going to be a nice segue to answer your next question.
I just watched that episode.
So the Defending Darkheart series, I am out in the wilderness trying to, I don't know what, and I'm following them around to biking and rock climbing. I'm like, I can do that, and I can't do that. But I ended up getting sucked into a dungeon, a Grimlord's dungeon. I get stuck in there with JB and Caitlin, and I'm flipping out, and they're kind of freaking out because they can't transform because I'll see. So that's what led to the kiss and led to me passing out, and them transforming and getting me out of there. I believe it was the next episode or the episode after that. I'm back in the newspaper office telling a story about how I rescued JB and Caitlin from the dungeon as Super Percy. And there's a whole scene that got cut out of me dressed in a Superman outfit. I remember the cod piece. I could not take a break to go use the bathroom. There was a big letter P on my chest, and I did not get to wear the glasses. It was a lot of fun, and it ended with me grabbing Caitlin and dipping her and kissing her. They never aired that scene, but for some reason I have a picture from the scene, and that's the story.
And you can get that picture at Aaron's table later on today.
You can if you really want.
Get that autograph. All right, next question I have for you guys. This one should be pretty easy. Is what were the henchmen for Grimlord called? A, Scubs, B, Lugs, or C, Cogs?
I'm sorry, what was C?
Cogs.
With a G.
With a G. Let's keep it fairly friendly here. Let's see. Most of you guys are gonna get this right. Yes, we got Scubs. Whatever spelling works. All right, so the reason I asked this question is because we had so many great stunt performers working on VR Troopers. Did you gentlemen know this? Any fun stories about working with the stunt performers on VR Troopers?
I almost killed one.
Almost killed you.
One
I almost killed one in the first scene. So he was, like I said, he was the martial artist. I was trying to be the martial artist. I was trying to be, so I learned this really cool jump spinning hook kick that I was so excited about because I could get really high off the ground and it was a very JDF move too, because you know he had that like triple, you know, jump spinning crescent kick that he could do, and I couldn't do that one. But I had a really cool jump spinning hook kick. And the thing was, we worked out with all these guys, Mitch and Billy Wong, and Billy was this Asian stunt double, but he was blind in one eye. So basically a one-eye stunt double, and which probably poses problems. Here comes the rest of the story.
Non-union.
So, yeah. So the move was, we're in the forest. It's our first fight scene, right? And then everything, and then we go fight our stunt double. I'm fighting Billy. Well, we had worked the choreography was all set, and the move was I do a sweep and he jumps, and immediately I go to my perfectly, you know, this move the Brad Hawkins jump spinning hook kick that I can't wait to debut, and it's my first fight scene. So I do the sweep and he jumps. And then I go up and I spin and I'm coming around and I look over my shoulder and I'm about to throw this kick, and his move is to duck. He didn't duck. And I took his head off. I couldn't stop it. The move was coming, and I was like, he was supposed to duck. The Scug helmet went flying off. I kicked him in his blind eye. And I'm just, oh yeah, that's my first fight season of the entire series. And I'm like, I just killed my stunt guy on set. He got up, he goes, I'm good, it's my fault, I was supposed to duck, and I felt terrible from that point on, but Billy was a champ. He's such an amazing stunt double, he's tough as nails, and anybody that's willing to put on that helmet and only have line of sight, half out that, it's hard enough to see out that helmet anyway, but the fact that you couldn't see out the rest of it.
It wouldn't have happened if you didn't have the helmet on. Those guys, if you saw the eye slits for them, they're really small. And Mitch, also, I ended up kicking him. I thought I just nicked the helmet. When he took his helmet off, his mouth was just all bloody. So, but by the way, Brad, Billy is coming today, and they reattached his head. So, just be on the lookout.
So, like,
the hardest. I'll just point this out. I'm just gonna spread some gossip here. The worst part of the show, Brad will back me up on this, was dealing with the stunt coordinator.
Oh, yeah.
That was brutal. This guy, just sorry to trash on someone. I'm gonna be a bully right now, but man, we disagreed on what the fight choreography was constantly. It was the hardest part of our job.
But we love the assistant.
Okay. So for me, before we all auditioned, I was working out at a gym in Glendale because I was like trying to get in shape, right? And this guy walks in, and my eyes are like this. What's that? I'm jogging on the treadmill, and he's like, please talk to me, please talk. And I'm on the treadmill, it's very awkward. Of course, he doesn't talk to me because I'm running on the treadmill. And I leave, and 3 months later, I'm in Cross-World City, essentially, and we're introduced to the main stunt coordinator, who none of us ended up really getting along super well with, and then the assistant stunt coordinator walks in, and it's the guy from the gym. And I'm like, wait a minute, what is happening? So very long story short, he ended up being my boyfriend for the entire series, and he was Ryan Steele in costume. So that's who's doing all those crazy kicks when it's actually American footage filming it. That's Mitch Gould. We all loved his choreography. We're gonna see him tonight.
oh, Mitch, good-looking guy. I remember.
Oh, man. He's in a lot of fight scenes too without the helmet. Like the first dojo scene where there's actually a sparring going on with Brad and Billy and Mitch both, yeah.
Opening fight scene in the dojo.
Because they were, like, Mitch is a 6-degree black belt, so whenever they would need somebody to do a spar, they would bring in the assistant stunt coordinator. Are we wrapping up? Is that...
We are going to wrap, but where are we at with
I
points?
got my butt kicked a lot. Let me just put it
Oh,
down.
Aaron, you won. You have the most points. So here's what you win. You win power. Let me ask you. Wait. That's right. Hold on. So does anybody here, this is what you win. I am personally going to pay for every single one of their autographs on this table. You get to pick out who is going to get those autographs. And also, I will buy your Power Morphcon tickets for 2026. So, who are we giving this to? Aaron,
All right.
I think
You're giving Power Morphicon tickets 2026 to
Well, that's what
the
the-
audience?
somebody in the audience.
Amazing.
All right, hold on. I'm looking. Okay, I gotta go with the guy with the gem doll.
All right, Andrew, there we go. I'll get you all the autographs as well. And here's the thing, I know that all of you guys have questions for them. Unfortunately, I didn't take fan questions, but the reason I did that is because I want you guys to have your own interaction with them and make your own memories. Go up to their table, meet them, and ask the questions that you have for them later on today. But
I
thank you
get free
guys.
hugs.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. You guys have been phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. You guys are awesome.
Was full before.